Finding joy in the simple things.
Jack had always been a busy man. As a young financial analyst, his days were filled with numbers, meetings, and constant deadlines. His office was downtown, in a tall building overlooking the city, but he hardly noticed the view anymore. Jack was too focused on climbing the career ladder to think about much else. Days slipped into months, and he often found himself exhausted, feeling as if something was missing in his life. One Saturday morning, Jack's neighbor, Mr. Collins, a retired artist in his 70s, invited him over for a cup of tea. Jack barely knew him, but with a rare free morning, he thought, why not? When he arrived at Mr. Collins' small but cozy home, he was greeted by the smell of fresh flowers and a calm, warm atmosphere. Mr. Collins's walls were lined with beautiful paintings of landscapes, animals, and small details of nature. Thank you for coming, Jack. It's good to slow down once in a while, isn't it? Mr. Collins said with a gentle smile as he handed Jack a steaming cup of herbal tea. Jack chuckled awkwardly, glancing at his phone. I'm not so used to slowing down. I'm always working, you know? Mr. Collins nodded, his eyes warm. I understand, but life is short, Jack. I think there's something special about finding joy in the simple things around us. Jack sipped his tea, intrigued, but not quite understanding. What do you mean by the simple things? Mr. Collins set down his cup and gazed out the window. Take today, for example. I went for a walk early this morning and saw a family of ducks in the pond at the park. They were just gliding along, not a care in the world. Watching them brought me such peace. Later, I tended to my flowers, feeling the sun on my face, breathing in the fresh air. Jack listened, feeling a small spark of curiosity. It had been ages since he'd noticed anything like that. I don't know if I'd even see something like that. I'm so busy. I barely notice anything but work and more work. Mr. Collins smiled again, understanding. Sometimes we have to choose to see, Jack. Happiness isn't in the big things we're taught to chase. It's in the little, everyday moments. After tea, Mr. Collins invited Jack to join him on a walk. Reluctantly, Jack agreed, curious to see what made this man so content with life. As they walked to the nearby park, Mr. Collins stopped often, pointing out small details, a tiny ladybug on a leaf, the way sunlight filtered through the trees, the sound of birds singing. Jack found himself strangely moved. He had never really noticed these things. They walked around the park, stopping by the pond, where Mr. Collins showed him the family of ducks. See them? Mr. Collins pointed, his voice soft. They remind me to slow down. Life isn't a race, Jack. There's so much beauty all around if you just take a moment to see it. As Jack watched the ducks gliding peacefully across the water, he felt something shift inside him. For the first time in a long while, he felt at ease. I can't remember the last time I did something like this, Jack admitted, a little embarrassed. Mr. Collins nodded, giving Jack a reassuring smile. It's never too late to start, Jack. Finding joy in these small moments has made my life richer than any job or accomplishment ever could. When Jack got home that afternoon, he felt lighter. He spent the rest of the weekend doing small, quiet things he'd never considered before. He took his coffee out on his tiny balcony Sunday morning and just watched the sunrise, enjoying the quiet. He even put away his phone and went for a walk in the park on his own, feeling strangely peaceful as he watched children play and the breeze move through the trees. Over the next few weeks, Jack made a habit of slowing down, even if just for a few minutes a day. At work, he took short breaks to stand by the window, really looking at the city view he used to ignore. He started taking his lunches outside, feeling the warmth of the sun and savoring his food. He noticed how little these moments cost him, but how much happiness they added. One day, Jack saw Mr. Collins again while coming back from a walk. Smiling, he went over to say hello. Mr. Collins, I think I finally get it, he said, feeling a warm rush of gratitude. I started paying attention to the little things. I'm happier than I've been in a long time. Thank you, Mr. Collins patted Jack on the shoulder. That's wonderful, Jack. Life doesn't need to be grand to be fulfilling. It just needs to be noticed. Jack left with a new sense of appreciation, his heart light, as he realized he didn't need to chase anything to feel content. The happiness he'd been searching for was all around him, waiting in the quiet, simple moments of his everyday life. And from that day forward, Jack continued to find joy in the small things, grateful for the wisdom of a gentle neighbor and the chance to rediscover what truly mattered.